Hello everyone, my name is Mayra Bianca Adib and my identification number is 332500083. Today I want a presentation about correlative conjunction and degree of comparison. First one is correlative conjunction. Correlative conjunction are a type of conjunction used to indicate how two words or parses in a sentence are connected to one another. Typically, this conjunction appears although they can indicate a relationship between the two elements. This is not always necessary. In many situations, the word or parses connected by a correlative conjunction can be discussed separately. In such contexts, the use of a correlative conjunction makes the writing more concise and emphasizes that the two things being discussed occur sequentially, simultaneously, or as consequence of the same cause, or that they alternative or different outcome of the same cause or starting point. For the example is both my cat and my dog like bacon flavored treats. The parse both is followed by a noun parse my cat and so is and my dog. Since the subject is plural, my cat plus my dog, the verb used is also in the plural form, namely like, not likes. This sentence emphasizes that both pets like the treat without exception. Second example is we could either hike up the mountain or swim in the lake this afternoon. After the word either comes a verb parses climbing a mountain, and after the word or comes a verb parses swimming in a lake. This sentence expresses mutually exclusive option, meaning we can only choose one activity for this. For next example is I will neither watch Harry Potter movie nor read Harry Potter book. The word neither is followed by a verb parse watching Harry Potter movie, while nor is followed by a verb parse reading Harry Potter books. This sentence implies a double negation in which the speaker rejects both options, since neither and nor are already a negative. The verb remains in the positive form, will and not will not. Next example is not only Henry is a CEO of a company but also has a master's degree. After the word not only, a complete clause follows Henry is, while but also is immediately followed by a verb has. Additionally, when not only is placed at the beginning of the sentence, the structure must be inverted. This sentence aims to emphasize additional impressive information about Henry become a CEO is already extraordinary, and the fact that he holds a master's degree adds to the positive impression. Next example from mass media is extreme heat wave are causing severe damage to both the environment and the global economy. Media source is BBC News. Next example is supporting essential journalism not only benefits society but also drives significant business growth. Media source CNN International Commercial. Next topic is degree of comparison. Degree of comparison, also known as comparison degree, is a term in English grammar that indicate a comparison. In the degree of comparison, both adjective and adverb change form according to the degree of comparison. Therefore, the degree of comparison can also be referred to as the level of comparison. There are the three degrees of comparison: positive, comparative, and superlative. Keep in mind that noun and verb do not have degree of comparison. Next example is comparative degree. Land snail move more slowly than starship. Land snail are a plural subject, so the predicate use the base form move without the s ending. The sentence structure follow the pattern more plus adverb plus than. The chosen adverb is slowly. Since slowly consists of two syllables and with li is comparative form must begin with the word more, not slower. The word then functions as the comparative marker then compared to another creator, namely the starship. This sentence comprises two unequal subjects. The speaker wants to emphasize that in terms of speed, land snail move more slowly than starship. Next example is superlative degree. It is one of the most delicious meal I have ever had. Using the pattern the plus most plus adjective, the word used here is an adjective, namely delicious. Since delicious has more than two syllables, delicious is superlative form. Most used the most I have ever had. Use the present perfect tense to emphasize an experience that has occurred up to the present. This sentence implies the highest extreme degree of equality within a group or in a person's life experience. In other words, the food being discussed rank among the best of all the food the speaker has ever tasted in their life. Next example from mass media is superlative degree is its longest war in American story. Search the New York Times. Comparative degree is the risk is higher than it was a few weeks ago. Search the BBC. Next is analyze the paragraph, and this the paragraph. First is the student which won the competition is my friend. Correct. The student who won the competition is my friend. The word which is used for object or animal. Since student is a person, we must use more or that. Next is she met a professor whose book was published last year. Correct is she met a professor whose book was published last year. This sentence is meant to express possession. The book belonged to the professor. The correct possessive pronoun is whose, and the pronoun she should be removed. Next is the library where it was renovated recently is very modern. Correct. The library which was renovated recently is very modern. The word it here is redundant because the subject position in the clause is already represented by the conjunction. Furthermore, since the library is the subject being renovated, not the location where an active action takes place, it is more appropriate to use which or that. Next is I have a classmate he studied linguistics every day. Correct. I have a classmate who studies linguistics every day. The word whose is used to indicate preposition, even though this sentence only needs a person as the subject. Classmate. The pronoun he also makes the sentence worthy because it is already represented by this conjunction. Next is the laptop who I bought yesterday is already broken. Correct. The laptop which I bought yesterday is already broken. The word who can only be used for people. Since a laptop is inanimate object, we must use which or that. Next is the lecturer that she teach syntax is very popular among students. Correct. The lecturer that teach syntax is very popular among students. There is a repetition of the subject. The word that already function of the subject, replacing the lecturer, so the word she does not need to be written again. Next is the building which we discussed about yesterday will be demolished soon. Correct. The building which we discussed yesterday will be demolished soon. In English, the verb discuss is immediately followed by its object without the preposition about. Therefore, the word about is out of place here. Next is the researcher whom article received an award work at a famous university. Correct. The researcher whose article received an award work at a famous university. This sentence refers to the researcher article position. The word whom is used as a personal object, whereas for position we must use whose. And next is this is the campus that where I studied for 4 years. Correct. This is the campus where I studied for 4 years, or the campus that I studied at for 4 years. The mixed use of that and where is incorrect and confusing if you want to indicate the location where the action studying takes place. Use where alone. If you want to use that, you must add the preposition at the end of the clause. The last example for relative clauses is the scholarship, which was offered by the government attracted many applicants. Correct. The scholarship which was offered by the government attracted many applicants. Just as in the previous example, the word it here is redundant because its role as the passive subject in the clause has already been taken over by the word which. Next, analyze its degree of comparison, and this the paragraph. My university is more large than the university in my hometown. Correct. My university is larger than the university in my hometown. The word large has only one syllable, so you should use more instead just add the suffix er to make it larger. Next is among all students in my class, Sarah is the most smartest student. Correct. Among all students in my class, Sarah is the smartest student. This is a case of a double superlative. The word smart becomes smartest. Therefore, the parts the most before it is redundant and incorrect. Next is the semester is more easier than the previous one. Correct. This semester is easier than the previous one. This is a case of a double superlative. The word easy ending in y changed to easier. Don't add more in front of it. Next is the library is the quietest than the cafeteria. Correct. The library is quieter than the cafeteria. This sentence comprises two things, library versus cafeteria, so it should use the comparative form quieter, not the superlative form, the quietest. Next is English is interestinger than mathematics for many students. Correct. English is more interesting than mathematics for many students. The word interesting is a long adjective, 4 syllables. We can add the suffix er. Instead, we have to use more. Next is my laptop is expensiver than my friend's laptop. Correct. My laptop is more expensive than my friend's laptop. Just like number 5, expensive is a long word, is 3 syllables. Its comparative form must use more. Next is of the 3 presentation, John's presentation was more best. Correct. Of the 3 presentation, John's presentation was the best. This sentence comprises 3 things. It is must use superlative form. Also, the superlative form of good is the best. An irregular adjective, not more best. Next is the new classroom is the more comfortable room in the building. Correct. The new classroom is the most comfortable room in the building. This sentence refers to the room that stands out the most among all the rooms in the building. Superlative. Therefore, the word more should be replaced with the most. Next, analyze is traveling by train is most cheap than traveling by plane. Correct. Traveling by train is cheaper than traveling by plane. Since the word than is used, this indicates comparison between two things. The comparative form of cheap is one syllable, is cheaper, not most cheap. Next is today weather is better than yesterday weather. Correct. Today's weather is worse than yesterday weather. Bad is an irregular adjective. Its comparative form does not add better, but change completely to worse. Next, analyze is correlative conjunction, and this the paragraph. Both the lecturer or the student was interested in the seminar. Correct. Both the lecturer and the student were interested in the seminar. The correlative conjunction both must always be paired with an, meaning both and not or. Next is either the manager and the staff member are responsible for the project. Correct. Either the manager or the staff member are responsible for the project. The conjunction either must be paired with or, meaning either or not and. Next is neither the teacher or the student was prepared for the presentation. Correct. Neither the teacher nor the student were prepared for the presentation. That sentence contains two errors. First is neither must be paired with nor, not or. Second, according to the student verb agreement rule in the neither nor. Next is not only does the library provide digital research and also over study space. Correct. Not only does the library provide digital research but is also over study space. The correct combination for not only is but also. Additionally, since the first part used in inverted structure does the library provide, the second clause required a subject it to make the sentence complete a balance. Next, the researcher is interested both in collecting data and to analyze the result. Correct. The researcher is interested both in collecting data and in analyzing the result. This sentence does not follow the rule of parallelism. The word following both and must be consistent. If a word in collecting is used after both, then the same form in analyzing must also be used after and, not to infinitive to analyze. Next is whether the meeting will be online and offline has not been decided yet. Correct. Neither the meeting will be online or offline have not been decided yet. The conjunction whether is used to indicate a clause or a possibility, so the correct word to pair with it is or, neither or, not and. Next, analyze is no sooner had the lecture started when several students arrived late. Correct. No sooner had the lecturer started than several students arrived late. This sentence is an example of a correlative expression that indicates two events occurring almost simultaneously. The standard counterpart, the no sooner is then and when, cannot be used in this context. Next is scarcely had I finished my assignment, then the lecturer announced a new task. Correct. Scarcely had I finished my assignment when the lecturer announced a new task. As in number 7, negative adverbs such as scarcely, hardly, or barely should be used with when or before, not with that. Next, analyze is such was the difficulty of the exam that so many students failed it. Correct, such was the difficulty of the exam that so many students failed it. The such that structure is used to indicate a strong cause and effect relationship. The word such at the beginning already means such that or very, so adding so before many is redundant. It is sufficient to write many students. The last analyze is rather the professor than also the assistant conducted the workshop. Correct. Rather the professor than the assistant conducted the workshop. The rather than construction is used to express a choice or preference, choosing A over B. The word also is in the wrong place, which change the meaning of the sentence. If the intention is to say that both people hold a workshop, it would be better to use the not only but also patterns. That's all my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Bye!